You're being a really bad friend.
You bad friend.
You know what we call you?
No.
We call you the stupid Avenger.
You're tiny Avenger.
You're not gonna turn green?
I've got a compelling reason not to lose my cool.
I adore you. But I need the other guy.
It's not often that we get to see an angry green giant bringing out the sass and savagery, considering 90% of his lines include the words Hulk and smash. On that note, here are the top 25 Hulk flexes in the movies. Works in mysterious ways. When he's not out there destroying monsters and smashing everything in sight, he's saving his buddies from crashing into the road.
That's suspicious.
The flex isn't about Hulk saving Iron Man, but rather about him waking up Tony Stark with a simple roar. What's even better is the way he punches his own chest after that, as if to say he's proud of his screaming techniques. We do have to thank him though, because we don't know what would have happened to Iron Man if the angry green giant wasn't there. Yeah, he definitely deserved the shawarma more than the other Avengers.
You ever tried shawarma? There's a shawarma joint about 2 blocks from here. I don't know what it is, but I want to try it.
For years, I've been treating the Hulk like he's some kind of disease, something to get rid of. But then I start looking at him as the cure.
When you say getting the best of both worlds, I'm sure you didn't have Smart Hulk in mind, but here he is with a very accurate statement. Listen, I know that he's not an ideal version of the angry green giant, but what he says here does make sense. He has the strength of the Hulk and the intelligence of Banner, which makes him a considerable opponent to anyone.
I put the brains and the brawn together, and now look at me. Best of both worlds.
I know Banner is saying it innocently, but it does come across as a flex, and I'm not even mad about it, because you do need a bit of confidence coming from a character like the Hulk.
Hulk out!
Bruce.
Damn.
Bruce.
Listen to your mom. She knows better.
You know, watching movies like this one kind of desensitizes you to how dangerous and heavy tanks are supposed to be. The Hulk is to blame for this because he casually throws tanks away as if they're baseball bats. It's a really cool flex as the military doesn't know what to do next after watching their most competent weapons being treated like something in the discount section at the Lego store. It's not just one tank either. Bro made sure to wreck everything in sight to establish dominance. I wonder how many taxpayer dollars went into making these machines. Maybe they should get a refund, you know? The monster dogs in 2003's Hulk will always be a mysterious choice to me, because I don't really think they were that necessary. Of course, the scene does come in handy here because it's a way for Hulk to flex in front of Betty. The fight was cool for sure, but it's the way Hulk dismissively ends all the dogs that gets me. There's no mercy on display, even though it did seem that angry green giant wasn't too keen on going hard here. This actually reminded me of the scene where King Kong took on those V-Rexes, which by itself should be enough to consider this worthy of an entry.
So how long have you been like that?
Like what?
Like this. Big, green, stupid.
Hulk, always Hulk.
I know this scene is known for all the wrong reasons, especially how it traumatized Thor for life, but let's not think about Hulk without a towel on. Instead, I want to talk about how he proudly tells the God of Thunder that he is always going to be the Hulk. While we know that that isn't applicable when it comes to possessing Banner's body, it does tell us that the Hulk is very much aware of his situation and that he'll always remain an angry green giant regardless of what others might think.
How'd you arrive here?
Quinjet.
Yes. Where is the Quinjet now? Oh, that's naked.
Plus, the way he comes out of the shadows to say this was pretty badass. Watch out, Batman. Just pray that Hulk doesn't hear about Gotham's crime rate.
That's in my brain now.
Quinjet.
You know, with the benefit of hindsight.
This one's funny and also pretty badass. After Ultron's vibranium armor gets melted by a combined beam attack from Thor, Iron Man and Vision, there really isn't much left for him to salvage. Of course, the Hulk wasn't going to let the spotlight escape him, so he smashed away Ultron with a single whack, and it was so impactful that he scared away all his minions too. Imagine flexing so hard that even AI robots know better than to mess with you. That's exactly what the Hulk accomplishes here, and it's not even like he had to do much to achieve it.
Hey, big guy. Sun's getting real low.
If there's one thing the Hulk's known for, it's his anger. And with a lot of anger comes a death stare that would scare anyone. Take a look at General Ross, for example. That man must probably hate the Hulk more than anyone else, and yet he completely freezes when the angry green giant gives him the look of death while holding his daughter. It's the ultimate display of dominance, particularly because this is right after he defeats all of Ross's troops and forces with minimum effort. He also protects Betty from an explosion, which reinforces the fact that Hulk is the one taking care of Ross's daughter more than Ross himself. But seriously, man, I hope I never piss anyone off to the point where they're looking at me like this. Thor and Hulk have always been an interesting combo because their strengths have never been accurately put against each other apart from that one rigged fight in Ragnarok. I believe that's one of the main reasons why Hulk likes to keep toying with the God of Thunder, just like he does here. I mean, the two of them are in the middle of a very important battle with innocent lives on the line. The stakes are super high, the Hulk ain't gonna stop being an alpha, so he flexed his superiority by punching Thor away literal seconds after taking down some of the Chitauri with him. Yeah, that's some serious Chad energy right there.
You're not gonna turn green?
I've got a compelling reason not to lose my cool.
I adore you.
Scarlett Johansson is an absolute star who's way out of 99% of the world's league. However, for some reason, Black Widow seems to have a thing for Bruce Banner, which is honestly a much bigger flex than any of the 25 entries that you're going to be seeing today.
So Fury isn't after the monster.
Not that he's told me.
And he tells you everything.
Talk to Fury. He needs you on this.
He needs me in a cage.
No one's gonna put you in.
Stop lying to me!
Having said that, this video doesn't cover luck, but it does cover the power of Riz. After getting a kiss from Natasha, Bruce awakens the beast within and goes on to give her a very naughty smile. Yeah, Hulk was definitely in his feelings here, and he wanted to impress his girl so much that he carried her throughout a very turbulent trip. Of course, he could have taken it a little easier with that landing. You gotta give it some time before you get so rough in a relationship.
I really hope this makes us even. Now go be a hero.
Thor sad.
Shut up.
Thor sad.
Not sad, you idiot. I'm pissed off.
Throwing stuff at your buddies is fine if you're little kids in school, but it doesn't have the same connotations when you happen to be an angry green giant and the God of Thunder. This was obviously a Waititi attempt at comedy, which does work for the most part, especially when Hulk calls Thor a tiny Avenger while throwing stuff at him.
You know what we call you? We call you the stupid Avenger.
You tiny Avenger!
What are you, crazy?
Yes!
This was a pretty blatant temper tantrum moment, and it works because we're already enjoying the exchange of words between these two. But yeah, the Hulk is probably the only being in the MCU who can straight up disrespect Thor like that.
No.
I'm sorry I said those things. You're not the stupid Avenger. No, nobody calls you the stupid Avenger.
It's okay.
Something tells me you aren't in much of a position to be making stupid threats to anyone. Talbot. Yeah? You're making me angry.
You don't just randomly attack Bruce Banner and expect to get away with zero consequences. Talbot clearly didn't seem to get the message, which was why he ended up inviting trouble in this scene. The man actually thought he could suppress Bruce Banner with a few punches, but then it got serious. It started off with Bruce warning him that he's making him angry, and then he follows through by transforming and smashing Talbot out of his house with a single strike. Bro wreaks total havoc after that and actually grows in size even more when he gets shot at. Yeah, at this point, you could definitely say that he was just showing off.
You're Banner's friend.
I'm not Banner's friend. I prefer you.
Banner's friend.
I don't even like Banner. I'm into numbers and science and stuff.
Thor, go. Hulk, stand.
Fine.
Chris Hemsworth is a fairly ripped dude, and millions of men all over the world would love to have a body like his. However, the Hulk isn't like any other man, and he doesn't even think much of Thor's physique. That's why he had the brass tacks to mock the God of Thunder by calling him baby arms.
I smashed you.
Yeah, sure.
Baby arms.
What?
Baby.
Moron.
Yeah, he actually says this to him in Ragnarok, and I find it hilarious, because if you were to compare Mark Ruffalo and Chris Hemsworth, then the only baby would be the one who's 5'8". The fact that Hulk said this right after mocking Thor for getting smashed by him is an even greater flex. Bro really woke up and chose ultra violence that day.
Big child.
Thor, go.
I am going.
Thor, go again. Thor, home.
You think you can live with it? Take it!
Take it on!
Yes, this is easily the biggest flex we could have seen from 2003's Hulk as he took on his own father, aka the Absorbing Man, in a thrilling final encounter. Just when you think the Hulk is going to lose this one, the angry green giant comes back with a flex that's pretty risky. You see, the Absorbing Man thrives on literally absorbing everything around him, and the Hulk was no different. Gaining his powers would have been a super bonus for him, but the one thing he didn't realize was that power might have been way too much for him to handle. The Hulk sure knew that, which was why he dared him to take it all, and what followed was pretty insane. Man, his coincidence really had to be sky high for him to pull off a stunt like that.
It's not stopping. Take it back.
Blonsky, pull back now. Is that all you got?
Listen, super soldier serum is cool and all, but as I've mentioned earlier, it doesn't turn you into a dominant superhero. Sure, you're a lot stronger than the average human, but you're nowhere close to a Thor or a Hulk. That's what Emil Blonsky found out here as he got kicked away by the Hulk in extremely humiliating fashion. I can't say I feel sorry for him though. Bro was literally asking for it by going up to the Hulk after making him destroy his entire squad. I mean, you're going up to a character who's known for anger issues and is definitely in a mood after taking down tanks and jets. What do you think is going to happen? The fact that he even managed to survive this was a miracle, and I'm sure the super soldier serum had something to do with it.
Good to see you back on your feet, soldier.
Thank you, sir.
How do you feel?
Pissed off. I'm ready for round 3.
Hulk like fire. Thor like water.
Kind of both like fire.
But Hulk like real fire. Hulk like raging fire. Thor like smoldering fire.
Hulk and Thor really had a lot to talk about in Ragnarok, and a lot of it was funny because of Taika Waititi's insistence on making it a comedy. Look, I may not agree with all of his choices, but the man did give us a few solid scenes, like this one. Thor and Hulk are having a heart-to-heart, but then Hulk decides to violate his bro by calling him a small, smouldering fire, while he himself is a real, raging fire. What I really find funny here is that the two of them are trying to make up after that fight I covered earlier where Thor got called tiny, but bro was trying to apologize for being angry all the time and still ended up insulting the God of Thunder the same way.
Just can't go around throwing shields at people. Could have killed me.
No, sorry, I just get so angry all the time. Hulk always angry.
Well, we're the same, you and I. We're just a couple of hot-headed fools.
Yeah, I'm sure that little laugh from Chris Hemsworth after the smouldering fire line was genuine and not forced by the script or whatever.
I need her to stay.
Stay. Stay. Please.
Please.
You know how you can be super disrespectful to your opponent while also being badass at the same time? You spare his life and then kick his unconscious body back to the fools who allowed him to thrive. And guess what? Emil Blonsky finds himself experiencing the same thing again, although in a different form. After the Hulk defeats Abomination, he goes on for a finisher move to end him once and for all. That was, of course, until Betty came along and told him to stop. It's hard to say no to a face as pretty as Liv Tyler's, even if you happen to be an angry green giant, but even so, he decided to kick Abomination back to Ross as if he was saying, "Here bro, take back your damaged goods." It's a great flex because not only does it establish Hulk as the ultimate radiation monster, it also shows that he couldn't care less for his opponents. Even Ross had no idea how to respond to this because Abomination was looking like he was going to tear the whole city down. Yeah, then that's the kind of aura that deserves to kick off my top 10.
Any last words? Hulk! Smash!
How about that? Another violation of Abomination. We're used to seeing the MCU version of Hulk talking, but the same can't be said about Edward Norton's version. Well, to be fair, the dude only got one movie, but even so, he manages to blurt out a couple of words at a very crucial time in the final battle. Abomination was just about to get murderous in his actions, but Hulk knew the movie was named after him, so he unleashed the magic words, Hulk Smash, and smashed the living daylights off the roof he was standing on. The fact that he said this right after being asked if he had any last words makes it a really badass flex. Bro's fighting instincts are so solid that all he knows is smashing. What's even more surprising is that this is the only time we get to see the angry green giant say Hulk Smash in the MCU. Yeah, Captain America says it in the first Avengers film, but he's not exactly big enough to be considered that much of a threat.
And Hulk. Smash.
It's like, I was made for this.
You know I'm not a huge fan of the smart Hulk idea, as it dilutes the whole point of having a monster who needs anger management classes living inside you. I mean, would you rather have the Hulk smashing villains or striking stupid poses while talking about seeing things as an absolute win? I did cover him earlier in the video where he tried to flex the fact that he was smart and strong at the same time, but to find yourself at number 8 on a TV region video means you've had to have done something that's on a universal scale. And as a matter of fact, that's exactly what happens, because smart Hulk manages to undo the Thanos snap from before to bring everyone back from the disintegrated dead. However, my point of focus is when Banner tells everyone that he feels like he was made for this. That kind of confidence isn't something that should come easily, even if you have the kind of strength that Hulk does.
Let's do it.
Okay, remember, everyone Thanos snapped away 5 years ago. We're just bringing them back to now, today. Don't change anything from the last 5 years.
Got it.
Luckily, our man doubled down on his promise and gave everyone what they had been hoping for since Infinity War.
We know each other. He's a friend from work.
Bruce Banner and the Hulk have a complicated relationship wherein they keep fighting over who gets to have control over their shared body. Most of the time, Bruce seems to have the edge, keeping his angry buddy on the sidelines until he's needed for battle. After the events of Age of Ultron though, it looks like the Hulk got the better of his scientific counterpart, which is a huge achievement for someone who's the literal face of anger issues. The arena battle against Thor gave us proof of this when Hulk openly told the God of Thunder that there was no Banner inside him, only Hulk. This was a flex for sure.
Banner. Hey, Banner.
No Banner, only Hulk.
What are you doing?
It's me.
As it told us that the Hulk likes to stay in control of his body, and if it were up to him, then he would never allow Banner to take over again. It's pretty scary too if you think about it. That's kind of why Thor's expressions changed instantly after learning this rather unpleasant truth.
Banner, we're friends. This is crazy. I don't want to hurt you.
You wanted to know who I am?
What the hell are you talking about?
You'll see!
Thor Ragnarok may have added a lot of comedy to Hulk as a character, but just like the previous entry where we see the angry green giant's desire for control, here we see him treat the equivalent of a wolf god like a little puppy. Fenris isn't just a giant wolf, otherwise we'd be comparing him to Ralph from Rampage. Nope, he's Hela's most trusted pet, which should be enough to tell you just how dangerous he is. Now, the final battle had some really high stakes, and Fenris was about to rip all those stakes to shreds, but then the Hulk showed up and tossed him aside with minimum effort. Of course, this does come after a hilarious scene with Bruce Banner, but that's immediately forgotten after the angry green giant comes out to play. The roar he gives Fenris after that felt like an open challenge to the beast, and I don't know if many other superheroes would have the guts to flex that hard in front of a giant wolf who's immune to bullets. The final battle against Abomination was easily the best scene of The Incredible Hulk, but the fight wasn't exactly a flex because our man was getting his butt kicked in the first half of the encounter.
Is that all you've got?
I already covered how Hulk dismissed Abomination from his sight, which was pretty badass in its own right, but here I want to talk about how he prevents a very nasty explosion by simply clapping his hands. Yeah, right towards the final half of the fight, Hulk notices that Betty's gonna get blown away by a chopper explosion, which isn't good news for him, or Arnold Schwarzenegger. That's when Bro shows off his thunderclap attack, which not only looks badass, but also manages to wipe out all the fire that was spreading across the chopper. The fact that he was able to get this done in the middle of fighting a monster almost twice his size makes this an S-tier flex, which is super cool to watch. Man, I wish I could also make all my problems go away just by clapping my hands.
I'm sorry.
Normally, when a kid or even an adult loses a tooth, they're in for a world of pain and need something to ease the pain. Not the Hulk though. That dude just spits out his tooth and stares back at the culprit with a look of death. This is during the epic battle between the angry green giant and the Hulkbuster, and it happens right after Veronica lands a rather solid blow on Hulk. I repeat, once again, this would have been enough to defeat any normal competitor, but you're dealing with an oversized giant with anger issues who's also under Wanda's trance, so yeah, Tony Stark was never going to get off so easy. The look on Iron Man's face right after Hulk spits out his tooth is priceless AF. He definitely realized that he's now at a point where he has to go all out if he simply wants to survive. The main point though is that Hulk is essentially telling his opponent and the viewers that he doesn't get worn down by pain. He just ignores it, moves forward, which isn't ideal for anyone looking to challenge him.
You rented my room.
The cell was just
In case you needed to kill me, but you can't. I know, I tried.
Okay, we've got a real serious one now. And contrary to pretty much every other entry till now, it's actually Bruce Banner who presents the flex to us. This is when he reveals to us that he had once tried to end it all back in the Incredible Hulk movie, but he didn't succeed. This wasn't because he couldn't pull the trigger, but because the other guy just spat out the bullet that was intended to take him down. Yes, he actually describes this, and it's quite chilling to think about. That makes 2 scenes in a row where bro's spitting stuff out of his mouth.
I got low. I didn't see an end, so I put a bullet in my mouth, and the other guy spit it out.
There's a deleted scene as well that shows Edward Norton trying to do the same thing, but then he's shown how the Hulk chews and spits out the bullet, but we don't need to see that because our imagination is more than enough. Imagine being so dominant that you won't let your other personality get rid of you both even when he has control over your shared body. It's a flex alright, albeit a weird one.
You want to know my secret, Agent Romanoff? You want to know how I stay calm?
Dr. Banner. Put down the scepter. When they come, and they will, they'll come for you.
I have an army.
We have a Hulk.
Oh, I thought the beast had wandered off.
You've already seen how the Hulk doesn't even spare Thor when it comes to his savagery, so it's a safe assumption that Loki wouldn't be treated with respect either. It's not just me who's saying this, it's the entirety of meme culture. The puny god moment is super hilarious, but at the same time is a breathtaking display of strength and superiority. Loki is the god of mischief, and he prides himself over having Greek mythology on his side, but the angry green giant doesn't care for any of that, so he decides to smack his opponent with sheer and utter disrespect.
Enough! You are all of you beneath me. I am a god, you dull creature, and I will not be bullied by that.
It made everyone laugh for sure, but I don't think people really understand how much of a flex it was to beat up a literal god with such dismissiveness. It's the first time we hear this version of the Hulk speak as well, so it's kind of like a double bonus for MCU fans. You know what adds the cherry to the top of the cake for this flex? It's the slight wheezing sound coming out of Loki as he tries to recover and also figure out what the heck just happened to him.
Puny god.
Now might be a really good time for you to get angry.
That's my secret, Cap. I'm always angry.
This is easily the most popular clip of the Hulk, and rightly so. He manages to achieve in just a few seconds what most characters would usually take an entire movie to establish: absolute dominance. It's a one-punch man takedown of a monster that's bigger than a freaking skyscraper, so by default, this is a flex. But what comes before it is what takes the cake. It's when Banner calmly tells Captain America that his biggest secret is the fact that he's always angry. And on that note, bro turns into the Hulk faster than Elon Musk sends out a tweet. The transformation happening while he's turning to face the Leviathan was a brilliant creative choice, and then punching the beast to finish it off with the extended rush was an even better choice. Nobody was expecting this scene to be done in like 5 seconds, but that's what they got, and they sure loved it. This will forever remain Mark Ruffalo's peak in the MCU, because there's no way anything else he does is ever going to match this level, especially if he continues to remain in that smart Hulk form. Hope you liked the video. Please subscribe to the TV Regent, and here's another video that I know you're going to enjoy.